Welcome into today's podcast right here at the Cog Hill 40. Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the canned ham for this episode, so here's Jason and Brooke. Johnny Carson didn't have nothing on these folks.
What is happening, guys? This is another episode of the Cogcast Podcast coming at you from the incredible, super, extremely, unreal, crazy, windy day here on the 40. This might be the windiest day yet.
Well, the crazy part is we weren't aware that there was supposed to be any wind today, and I don't know that the weather crew was aware.
We ain't heard anything about it, and it doesn't let up. It has been, I would say, on average, consistent 25 to 30 miles an hour. Consistent.
Yeah, gusts like...
Gust, 45-ish.
I don't even want to speculate what the gusts are, but I can tell you that they've been nuts. They've been kind of strong. The temperature's been quite pleasant.
Yeah.
We had a little system come through that we didn't get much out of. No,
they were saying it was going to be 90% chance of thunderstorms today, almost all the way through 2 to 3 o'clock. And at 5:30, it was gone this morning.
It was gone, and then,
it wasn't that much rain. I didn't even check the rain gauge, but it wasn't much.
It wasn't supposed to start until like 7 o'clock this morning initially. Yeah. So last night, while you were editing the video, I looked at the radar.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What's that?
This was probably 8 o'clock last night. A little bit north of us was just getting hammered with storms, and I was like, it wasn't supposed to be here till in the morning. So I put it in play, and it's all going northeast. So I was like, something's going on. So I kind of, zoomed it out to where you can see further to the west, like Louisiana and such. And I said to myself, I don't think we're going to get anything.
It actually, this morning when I woke up, it was fixing to start. And that was around, I don't know, it was early. And it was coming from the south. And coming from the Gulf, and it came up and was just barely clipping us.
It didn't do much. And
strange. Very strange.
I think they anticipated a lot more to the system.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too.
But it did bring a lot cooler temperatures. You had shorts on this morning, and you walked outside, and you came right back in, and I said, what is it? And you said, cool outside.
Too cool for shorts. It's because the wind was blowing.
And so you came back in.
It was cloudy this morning.
And I asked that lady that's name starts with an A and ends with an A, and she said that it was 64 degrees and that the high today was like 72.
Yeah, but I think it's gotten warmer than 72, but the 35 to 45 mile an hour wind has kept it cool.
Well, I had an enjoyable day because I was able to take advantage of the cool and take my little wheeled weed eater and go around the entire property.
Yep.
Instead of spraying poison.
Yes.
I weed eated on both sides of the fence, and I feel like I had a workout.
Yeah, that's a good bit of weed eating. And then I came back. Me and Marycarl went. We've had 2 big days. Me and Marycarl. We've had 2 huge days, and that is we got to cut sunflowers. And bundle them up. We did 5 stems per bundle and take them to Petals for the Past for resale. So it was our first ever, flower farm action.
Your first trip was Wednesday.
Yes, our first trip was Wednesday. And we took 11 bundles, which that would have been 55 sunflowers.
I stayed here because I was still working on some finishing touches on staining the doors. Right. I was putting a clear on top of the stain, and I just didn't want to stop. And I told them, I said, if y'all don't mind going without me, then I'd like to finish my little job, and that's what y'all did.
That's what we did. Of course, I was just nervous to beat the band because I don't know what I'm doing, really. I mean, I can grow stuff. I've grown sunflowers forever, but growing them and cutting them at the right time and getting them in water and that whole thing I know nothing about. So I'm asking Katie, Piper's mom, and I'm asking Beth from Crowley House. I'm asking those guys a ton of questions, and
gals.
thankfully, gals,
they
are very helpful and don't mind me bugging them.
Yes.
And I was But that was the first one, and they look good. They were pretty. There's no doubt they're pretty. And Marycarl was right there with me. She loves it.
Oh, she would.
She loves it.
She'd get up at the crack of dawn if she knew you were cutting flowers because she just enjoys it.
She does enjoy it.
Matter of fact, y'all had initially thought that you would take them Tuesday afternoon.
Yes.
And I don't remember what happened, but anyway, we ran out of time or something, and she was so bummed. She was like, "Daddy, are we going to cut flowers today?" And you were like, "No, I think we'll do it in the morning." And I could just, she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But I could just tell by her hung head that.
I think we had worked so hard Tuesday that we were exhausted.
Well, I feel that way just about every day.
Yeah. But I think Tuesday, I
don't even remember what we did.
That's what it was. I think we were just exhausted.
I know one thing. I know that staining the doors this go round wiped me out.
It did wipe you out.
And I don't know if it was just because the front doors were so big. I mean, it was the same amount of doors, but the same amount of doors plus one because I had
It's probably been the heat. It has been hot.
Yeah, because I was in the sun most of the time.
We were pushing 90 degrees here except for today.
Whew, I'm telling you.
90 degrees. And the humidity's coming in, that Alabama humidity. And for those that have never experienced it, it's just hard to explain. If you can't experience that southeast humidity, and not all the southeast has it, but your Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and I'm sure some parts of Georgia have it.
Well, we know that South Florida does.
Yes, Florida, and so it's rough, and that 90-something degrees feels like 105 degrees, and then on top of that, it's just so muggy.
Yeah.
It takes your breath away, and we're used to it.
We're used to it, but I didn't pick the best time of day to be doing it.
Right.
And I did, once I got started, I wasn't going to stop. I just felt like I had a job to finish. And I remember what happened Wednesday now. We had a family event of haircuts happen Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
That's right.
And so they were going to plant the flowers over to Petals from the Past while I was finishing up the doors, and then we met at the
haircut place.
At the haircut place in two separate cars.
We all three got haircuts.
And here's mine,
which I absolutely love, y'all. Look at her hair. I've told her she's got to wear it like this from now on. You have curly hair that always stays covered up, and you straighten it and all this, that, and I love your curls.
Well, I'm not afraid to try something new because it's hair, it grows back, and so Marycarl had her little picture picked out of what she wanted her trim to be like, and you wanted a summer buzz cut.
I did.
I sat down with the thinking that we were just going to tidy me up a little bit, and I told her I didn't like the way it looked plastered to my head, and I just had so many curls up underneath in the back, and when the humidity comes, which is all the time, it just makes my hair bigger.
Yes.
And so curls underneath and straight on the outside just didn't add up.
Right.
And she said, "Okay, well, how about we just quit trying to fight the curls?" And I was like, "Well, okay, I trust you. Whatever you say, it'll grow back." And so she started cutting, and we're talking, and she's cutting, and she's like, "I had planned on leaving this length in the front, but I'm loving the curls, so I'm going to just keep cutting if that's okay with you." And I said, "Keep going." She got finished with it. I just couldn't believe it.
It looks so awesome.
But
and I know it's way cooler.
Oh, my gosh. I wish I had been staining the doors with short hair.
It looks so cute.
But I have a problem.
So cute. What's that?
I have a big problem.
What's that?
Nugget, for some reason, thinks it's to play with.
I guess because it's curly, I reckon.
Y'all, I'm here to tell you, me and Nugget just about had a fight this morning.
He wouldn't leave you alone.
He would not. He kept pulling my hair every time I turned around. He'd grab another chunk. And, I thought about it, and I was like, well, my ears are covered. I can't pull it up anymore, but that's okay because my ears are covered. Right. And I tucked my necklace in, and, boy, as soon as I go in there, he's like, something new on you, and starts just pulling it. So
I don't know.
We had a little talk, and he decided he would,
He let you go?
He let me go, but
good.
I actually said Nugget really loud one time. I'm surprised you didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you. I wonder. That's strange.
I don't know what it was.
That's strange.
But, he recognizes new things.
He does. No, he's very observant. There's no doubt that he is very observant.
And there's nothing like, him biting my hair from the side.
Yes.
Me turning around and looking. When I turn around and look, I'm eye to eye with the emu, and he's like, I want your hair.
Yes.
So, I said I'd never been intimidated by Nugget. And I wasn't intimidated by him, but I don't know what attracted him to my hair.
And it is aggravating.
Well,
because he's not going to stop.
I was thinking to myself, am I never going to be able to come in here and fill up the pools again?
Got to wear a shower cap.
A toboggan or something.
He'd get the shower cap.
Oh, he would.
You got to get a swimmer's cap.
Well, I don't know, but he was fascinated with my hair.
That's strange.
Fascinated.
That is really, really strange.
Yeah. So, I felt like, what have I done wrong?
Nothing. You ain't done nothing wrong. You just got a cute haircut.
Well, I like it.
I do too.
So, if you don't like it, just don't tell me.
I think everybody's gonna like it. It looks really, really cute.
I was thinking, in the wintertime, you always tell me how cold your ears are.
Yes.
And I was wondering if I keep the haircut like this, if my ears are going to be cold.
Just wear a toboggan.
Well, I can't go around Nugget.
We call them toboggans.
Oh, yeah, toboggan, not a sled.
We're
not wearing a sled on your head. You're wearing a head cover.
A head cover.
To keep your ears warm.
Some earmuffs.
That's right.
Get you some earmuffs.
I bet he would like earmuffs.
Ooh, boy, he would love earmuffs. No doubt.
So, we got our hair did. Everybody got their hair did. And we're never in town in the middle of the day unless we're working.
Yes.
And we were kind of done working for the day.
Yeah, we were kind of done working for the day.
Your video was out for the day?
Video was out. Usually, that was on Wednesday.
That was Wednesday.
Yeah, usually the day the video goes out
is your halfway.
Well, that's the day I try to get caught up on stuff, that needs to be done around the farm. And
we did something that needed to be done, all right. We went to the Frozen Goat.
Oh, we did go to the Frozen Goat, but we did to get the flowers to petals too, which was big too.
Yeah, we had these fancy haircuts, and Marycarl was like, "I want a snowball."
Yeah.
And what a snowball is just
snow cone, ain't it?
Well, I don't know what I'm trying to think. Shaved ice.
Shaved ice. It's like a snow cone, but it's the Louisiana style, which is very, 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 very fine.
Yeah, very fine shaved ice, and then they put this color, this flavoring on the top of it, and she always gets the same thing, which is blue raspberry. And I wasn't thinking that I wanted a snowball. I was like, okay, we can go. And she said, Daddy, are you going to sit in the car and Mama go in and get it and bring it back out? She really didn't want to go in. And he said, no, I'm going in. She was like, okay, I guess I'll go in too. Well, you know what that meant?
What's that?
If we all went in, we all had to get something.
We all had to get something.
And we did just that.
We did. I got the vanilla ice cream with cookie dough.
Cookie dough on top.
I did.
We had already eaten lunch. What
Yes.
did we eat for lunch?
The barbecue place beside the salon.
Yeah, that's right. Backyard.
I can't remember the name of it.
Bones Barbecue.
It was right next door to the salon where we got our hair cut.
I believe it's called Bones Backyard Barbecue. They scored 100. Bones Back Street Barbecue.
Back streets. Back.
Okay, so we ate lunch there. As if that wasn't enough, we went and got us some treats.
Yeah, we went and got us some ice cream.
And I never, ever get anything sweet.
But you was feeling cute with that haircut.
I guess that's what it was. I was feeling cute because I got myself a peanut butter milkshake.
Yeah, you did.
And I don't know what made me go with peanut butter, but it was really good.
It was, and I love peanut butter. But I'm not a big peanut butter.
Excuse me.
Peanut butter by itself I love, but I'm not a big fan of peanut butter things like peanut
Reese
butter
cups.
cakes. And to me, the peanut butter always tastes fake in it. But he legitimately put real deal peanut butter in your milkshake, and it was good.
I asked him if it had a real peanut butter flavor, and he said, "Yeah, we put real peanut butter in it."
Yeah, put real peanut butter.
Showed
in
us like the jug of peanut butter that he put the peanut butter in the milkshake, and it was really good. It was
good.
It was a natural flavor. It didn't taste like anything artificial.
Like for instance, the bananas out of banana things.
Banana flavor is not.
It doesn't taste like a banana to me. But yeah, peanut butter usually doesn't taste like peanut butter to me either. It's got a. You can tell it's peanut butter flavoring, but it don't taste like peanut butter.
Well, I would say Marycarl's favorite candy bar.
Oh gosh.
Is Reese Cups. And I thought I heard something. It might be one of my favorites too.
Really?
Yeah. And then here you are not liking.
I'm not a big Reese Cup fan. Especially I really don't like Reese Pieces.
Oh, I do.
I don't like them.
See, like, I would get that added in my milkshake if I could. And he said he was out of... He had everything that you could add into a milkshake or put on ice cream, but Reese peanut butter bites. It's probably a good thing because I had enough calories going on in that milkshake. It's like, what size do you have? And he said, well, we got regular and large. I said, you better give me the regular. I'm already splurging. But I devoured the milkshake. And
you did. It was good. Everybody. I even ate my it was in a waffle bowl. I even ate my bowl.
Did you? I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't have a crumble left of mine.
Not only did we get ice cream while we were there, they have awesome chicken salad.
And pimento and cheese.
And then they offer a panini, which is just a hot sandwich that's pressed and makes the cheese melt and everything. But Jason likes what they call the kickin' goat.
Mm-hmm. They have several different types. I like it, and I like the poppy seed one.
I like the nanny goat.
Is that the poppy seed one?
I don't know. One of them has apples and nuts in it.
That's the poppy seed one.
Okay, so maybe that's the nanny goat.
They're all got goat names like that. Kicking goat, nanny goat. And that's they got like several different types of these specialty chicken salads, and they're really, really good.
They are really good, and it's a really good deal too because if you get a plate, you get to add a side, and what we usually do is add a side of whatever the opposite salad is. Say we got a chicken salad sandwich, we'll get a side of pimento and cheese.
That's right, and it's good.
And it's enough food for the next day, actually.
Yeah, it is.
If you're not
really,
too hungry,
really
but usually mine doesn't make it till the next day.
No, it don't make it the next day. It's
so
good.
we brought that home with us, and we got home, and we had all these people here working and diligently doing their jobs to get us moved out of that camper and into our houses.
Some big progress on the barnuminium, y'all. I'm trying to think. You'll see this coming up week.
Monday's gonna be a whammer of a video.
Yeah, there's a lot going on big time around here. So you stay tuned for that. It is a bunch going on. Brant and the Builders have been. I don't even want to say Brant and the Builders anymore. I just say Brant and Dude because that's it.
I asked Dude the other day. I said, Dude, because I've never heard him called anything but Dude.
To call him. He's Dude.
I said, Dude. I said, Dude, do you have another name besides Dude? And he looked at me, and it took literally about 35 seconds after staring at me. And he spit off his whole name, middle name and all. And he said, I don't even think I'd come if you called me by my real name.
Yeah, that's what he told you.
And I said, well, okay. I just feel kind of funny calling you Dude all the time.
That's
he was like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Dude. It's cool. So Brant and Dude have been working real hard.
They have been working really, really hard. And then the trim guys, and they're the same ones that are going to paint. They've been hard at it. Everything looks different right now.
Looks different.
It looks amazing. Everything looks great. It's just
the first day after the trim guys were here, I told Mama to come look at her house. And when she got in there, her mouth was literally wide open because it's looking like a house.
Yeah, and then today they finished the trim.
They finished the trim. In 2 days, they did all the trim.
And that was the trimming out the windows, the doors, the baseboards, the crown molding.
Speaking of that, I got to get with Brian Monday. Don't let me forget.
Yes, on our
about
doors.
Our interior doors, because it's going to be here sooner than later.
That's right. It is.
Oh, and Jason has been so hard at work. He has been ordering all of our interior light fixtures.
I have. I got all but one, and I'm going to work on it this weekend. That's I want to put you a nice, beautiful chandelier above your closet.
Oh, did you?
One.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I
good.
Put it in my notes so
good.
I can show it to you.
But I've got all the lights. I got the light above the kitchen sink now. I got both over the vanities in both bathrooms. I added the sconces over on the staircase.
Yeah, well, the outside windows lights
got
too.
all the outside windows light. I got to order one more because we made a decision to add one more extra one. And all our chandelier, I got our big chandelier.
Yes.
All that has came in. I even got our shower, what do you call it? Faucets and stuff. I got all that here. So everything is here.
It was initially, he'd find something, he'd be like, do you like this? And I'd say, yeah, I like it. And finally I said, look, if you like it, it's fine. He has wonderful taste, and it's kind of odd that the husband would be picking out the fixtures. But I'm going to tell y'all, I like it. I like the fact that he's doing it because it kind of gives me a whirlwind of a head spin to think about it. I did the door locks.
You did do the door locks. Oh.
It took a month for me to get it all straight and figured out. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's a good thing he's doing it.
You have a hard time of making the final decision because you think...
I feel like I've messed something up.
Or you think there's something else better out there.
Yeah.
So if I buy this, then I'm going to miss out on this.
And a cheaper price. I'm like searching one site, and I wonder if I could find it a few dollars cheaper.
Yep.
Well, then when I go to the next site and I realize it's not a few dollars cheaper, I can't find the one I initially came from.
It gets really, really, really confusing. Speaking of doors, I made the biggest mistake ever, y'all. So much so that it literally brought me to tears.
Yeah, it did. But guess who was there to cheer him on and tell him it's okay? And
you were, and it's still, even thinking about it now, gets me teary-eyed. Of course, y'all know we have the beautiful mahogany, but they're fiberglass, but they're mahogany.
Mahogany green.
8-foot double doors in the front.
Which has been our just highlight of our build.
Highlight of the build.
For us, anyway.
So, the door knobs came in, and you guys seen I've been putting the door knobs on, and I'm very meticulous. I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm still very, very cautious and try to do my best.
Check and double check.
So here I am. I'm putting the handle on because you got to drill a hole because the handle is a pull handle. So the top piece is made onto the lock, but the bottom part you have to drill all the way through the door, and then the bolt goes to the back of the door, and that holds the bottom of the handle on. So I put and I've already done your mom's.
Mm-hmm.
So
the day before.
So I get it up there, and I'm trying to mark the hole for the handle. And then I even get you out there. I said, look, I want you to, make sure it looks center. And you said, looks good to me. Marked it. Matter of fact, it didn't mark well. Put it back up there again.
Yep.
Marked it again. Drilled a hole through our double door. Went to put the handle on. And I drilled a 3/8 inch hole in the wrong spot through the double door.
Because he had the handle set in the deadbolt hole.
In the deadbolt hole and not the handle hole, which the deadbolt is above.
Yeah.
So it's a good 2 inches or more than that, maybe 3 inches higher. It's in the middle. It's dead center.
Dead center of the handle.
Dead center of the handle. And I knew it. I knew it soon as
you did it. You fell on the ground.
I was, y'all. I was upset. I was really upset.
He said, I think I'm going to throw up. And I was like, it's okay. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to throw up too.
You did a good job playing it off.
It's okay. I can fix it. And I'm like, how am I fixing to fix a hole in a fiberglass door?
And because I usually don't get upset. I'm the one that's the calm one.
Yeah,
I'm the one that's always,
we
can fix it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what I was thinking at that very moment. I'm so glad I didn't do that.
Oh, gosh, y'all. I was so upset. Beyond upset. So after probably, gosh, it felt like 15, 20 minutes before I got my marbles together. It still wasn't right. I mean, I still was just, it wasn't until the next day before I felt better about the whole situation.
Well, I immediately started researching how to fix holes in fiberglass doors, but all of these people that had these problems, they had bored out a 2-inch hole for the
door handle.
For the door handle,
yeah.
And all he had done was drill just a little 3/8.
It's about the size of your pinky.
Yeah, I could probably stick my pinky through the other side.
Yeah.
But I was just like, there's no point in. I mean, yeah, he was upset. He had reason to be upset, but you can't take it back. So.
No, I couldn't change it. I mean, there's no way I don't have a DeLorean. I can't go back in time.
So I started working on ways to fix it. And the majority of what I found said use fiberglass filler.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, gosh, that's
But the thing was, the door's got wood grain in it.
that, and you have to sand it. It's going to
and it
tear
would end up
all
being
your
a space
paint.
that
so I was
big.
like, man, that's not going to be. And then we read about the dowel, and I was like, the dowel would work. That to me, that sounds like the best option.
DOWEL.
Just a dowel, like a piece of wood that's round. And I was like, that would work. And then you found these plugs.
Yeah, they're like mushroom plugs is what they're called.
And they're small.
Yeah.
And then our local Russell Do-It Center, they had some.
Yep, they had some. So I picked up some little dowel plugs, and I also picked up the mushroom kind.
Yep.
And I said we will experiment and see which one works best. But guess what? It'll be something that we can look at the rest of our life and not notice, because it's not going to be noticeable.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that
But we're going to
noticeable.
say, hey, you remember when we drilled that hole out wrong? I remember that day like it was yesterday.
And I passed out crying and puking.
I mean, we'll remember that for the rest of our life. And so
we will.
I say the lesson learned is don't cry over spilled milk.
Let me tell y'all, so Brant came the next day. And so I always go over there and talk to him. We're talking. And I said, man, I made the biggest mistake ever. And, of course, Brant is the most low-key person you ever meet.
I don't think you could get him riled up.
He's just as mellow as you can get. And he was like, oh, what'd you do? And I said, we got these beautiful doors, you know. He said, yeah. I said, well, I drilled a hole in the wrong spot all the way through the door. And he looked down there and he goes, ain't that bad. That's exactly what he said.
So when Jason came back in, I said, how's Brant? And he said, he's good. I said, did you show him the door? He said, yeah. He said it's not that bad. And I'm thinking to myself, well, he sure wasn't going to say,
that's messed up.
That's going to be a doozy to fix, dude.
No, he is, though. I mean, because that's what he's a builder, carpenter, whatever.
He's got the best. I don't know if you call it temperament.
So you can just fix it. We just fix it.
Just fix it. And that's the attitude you got to have when something like that happens.
Yeah, it is.
There was nothing that could be done.
Nothing can be done.
Nothing that could be done. So you start planning on the next process,
That's right.
which is fixing it.
You have to have really, really great patience to be in that field. A plumber, electrician, builder, carpenter, cabinet maker, the trim guys, the sheet rockers. You got to have patience.
We're humans, and we're not perfect,
Nope.
and everybody makes mistakes.
That's right.
And I mean, yours just happened to be something that we saw as being a very important piece of our house. And now it has a hole that we can open the door with our pinky.
Oh, my gracious.
Pinky hole.
I told Brooke, I said, we just put a little peek hole in it. And somebody comes knocking on the door.
Squat down.
We squat down and look in there.
Gidget could get on her hind legs and look out of it.
Oh, my gracious.
But it was a doozy. It really was, for lack of other way to say it.
Yeah, because that day was going good.
That day was going good, but I was tired already.
Too.
And, it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
We're going to fix it.
We are.
We're going to fix it.
That's right.
And like I said, we're going to look at that little mushroom, and we're going to say, you remember that day you drilled out that whole row?
I know.
It's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a big deal. Nobody else will know it but us.
Nobody. Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Brant will know, but he's going to say it looks good even if it looks terrible. So don't ask him what you think about the repair, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude's his partner, but
yeah.
What do you think about the repair, Brant?
Say it looks good.
It looks good. If it looks terrible, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
He's just mellow.
But mellow.
So we were standing out talking to Brant and Dude before they left for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this stack of wood, and he says, I'm thinking that we might want to get some of this wood stained before we build the porches. That way, you won't have to worry about getting it on the metal, and you can get the sides. And
that's right.
That's just how he is. He's just kind of a perfectionist.
And thinking ahead. And
thinking ahead, which I appreciate.
And we want our porches. We wanted the rafters and joist and wood. We wanted all that to be exposed. We didn't want to cover it up. Yeah. We just like the way it looks. It looks like a barn.
It looks like a barn.
Yeah.
So it's going to be rough finished, I guess.
And it's going to be rough finish. It's going to be the same color as the doors.
As the garage doors and the entry doors and all that. And so I said, Brant, do I need to start staining on those 1x4s? Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. And
you got to see how many 1x4s it is.
And I said, okay. I said, how many how many do you think you're going to need? I'm going to need all of them.
It's a stack. It's about 3 or 4 foot high. About what?
It's a lot. And he says, I said, you want me to stain all of them? He said, yeah. I can help you one afternoon. I mean, I don't mind helping. And that ain't what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that all these
He said, you may want to get a roller.
And then I said, well, okay, are the 1x4s the only thing that I need to stain?
No.
He said, you're going to need to stain those 2x6s over there, too.
Yeah.
And that stack was just as big as the 1x4s.
I know it. It's crazy.
And so I was like, okay, I'll start working on that as soon as I can.
It's crazy. But
he was so nice to say, we'll help you one afternoon. And, you know, that's just how people should be. They just had... He's not... I mean, of course he's in business to make a living.
That's right.
But he is not doing this to get rich.
No, he's not.
He's doing it because...
he likes to do it.
He likes to do it, and he's good at it.
I told him today before you came there. Now we told him again, but I told him today. I said, I bet you're gonna be happy when you get back to building porches and pole barns and shops, because you know he's done a few, but we're the biggest one he's done. Like this.
We just keep saying,
and we keep adding stuff too, and but generally, you know, metal buildings is his forte. You know.
Yeah, he's told us before when we've said so and so, you know, contacted us and they wanted to know if you might be interested in talking to him about building a house, and he said, I only build pole barns. I only build pole barn houses.
Yep.
And I don't know if he feels that way now.
Probably. I mean, I don't think he wants to do a stick frame house. Is what he means by that. I think that's what he means by that. If he'll do a pole barn house, but no stick frame house.
He's very talented.
But he did tell me, he goes, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm having fun with this house.
Well, he's good at it. And I tell you, I know I've said it, 999 podcasts, but we could not have picked a better group of guys.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
I mean, those guys, even that are hanging the sheetrock and doing the trim work, and
they've been awesome.
Oh my gracious!
Yeah,
you know, I was kind of, we had not seen any of their work, and they told us they could. You know, we do trim.
Yeah, they did the sheetrock, they did the trim, and they do painting.
And we do painting, and I'm like, okay, we're stretching out on a limb because we haven't seen any of their work.
But Fernando, the concrete guy,
recommended them.
Was awesome. Just, I mean, you couldn't, I don't know if you could ask for a better concrete person than him. I mean, he was just really, really good and fair and honest.
And very professional.
Very professional. These are the guys he recommended. So I'm like, if he recommends them and he's putting his, you know, you're putting yourself out there. You know, you're putting your basically name on the line.
Right.
Then they got to be good.
Well.
And they are.
I tell you, I have...
and it's 2 of them.
It's 2 of them.
Yeah, it's just 2 of them.
And they hung the sheetrock in...
Well, they hung the sheetrock in a day, I think.
And then they finished it in just enough time to, you know, let the mud dry, put another coat on it, let the mud dry, sand it.
It was 4 days of mudding, 1 day of drying, and then the next day... They sanded. So that was 6 days.
Total.
So it was 7 days total, hanging the sheetrock, mudding it for 4 days, because you have to mud it 1 day, let it dry, mud it the next day, let it dry, blah, 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 blah. And then he told me, I said, I wanted to let it dry completely, so I'm not going to come back that 1 day. And then the next day they came and sanded it.
Yeah, and they even took care of Mom's interior doors.
They hung
those.
Yeah, they did all the trim and hung up all the interior doors, got them shimmed, everything. And, yeah, it's amazing.
So I'm thinking that... you know, I need to go ahead and order interior doorknobs for her house.
You do.
And she wants shutters in her windows because that afternoon sun is very amplified coming into her living area.
It is, but she's going to have that awning over it, so it's going to...
And I tried to tell her that. I said, you know, maybe you ought to wait and see how much sunlight comes in.
Yeah.
But she says, Brooke, you can see clear into my house.
That's true.
If you're standing up at the road. And I said, well, the way your door's designed, it's not like you'll be walking in this area.
True. And we'll probably plant some trees and stuff because our driveway is going to be completely different. Yeah.
And so I understand that. Yeah. You know, she wants the shutters.
She wants shutters, and
they're going to come next week and take a look and see what she wants.
Okay.
And she said, I don't know if I want a shutter on my kitchen window because I'll have to. Well, I mean,
I wouldn't.
She was asking me about it, and she said she was going to talk to the man when he came.
I wouldn't do a shutter on the kitchen window. I really wouldn't. I would put me a curtain there and not worry about it, because if she wants to look out and see the pond, I don't know. To me, I wouldn't do it.
But she's got the screened-in porch too,
where she can go out and look at the pond too.
So I don't know. We'll have to.
I don't know either.
We'll have to think about that.
We will have to think about that. Today, we took more flowers to Petals from the Past.
Yes, they.
Me and Marycarl.
We were all going to go.
We were all going to go.
I saw how well they handled it on Wednesday, and I said,
did.
If y'all don't need me to go, then I would like to pick up in the camper a little bit, because soon as we wake up, get breakfast, we're out the door.
We are.
And then we're back in the camper at sundown.
Yes.
And so there were some things that just needed to be picked up and tidied up, and I said, I got things I can do.
You actually got you a break, I guess.
Well, it wasn't really a break, but it's hard to straighten up the camper when there's people in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, me and Marycarl picked more flowers. Actually even picked some dwarfs. That idea popped in my head while I was out there.
Meaning dwarf sunflowers.
I got the dwarf sunflowers, the Sun-Go dwarfs. And if you bought the Cog Hill sunflower collection from Hoss, then you know what I'm talking about.
They're not Sun-Gold.
They're Sun-Go dwarfs.
Okay. I'm thinking tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, they sound like the tomatoes. But no, they're another version. They look like the teddy bears. They're the exact same thing, except teddy bear sunflowers, for whatever reason, are hard to get.
Huh.
Hard to get. Even Hoss can't get them. I even talked to Jason about it today.
Really?
Yeah, he said, hey, I can't get them. I don't know. And it's been like that for 2 years. Ever since COVID, teddy bear sunflower seeds have been hard to get.
Well, we were talking to the guy that owns the frozen goat, and I was saying that, don't you wish you could know in advance of what there's going to be a shortage of?
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Because who would think there would be a shortage of teddy bear sunflowers?
Teddy bear sunflowers.
And he was saying that how he's having a shortage of certain things, blueberries being one of them.
Blueberries was really, really hard on him. He said he had a hard time finding blueberries. And you're talking about a restaurant, so it's different from buying blueberries in bulk versus buying blueberries, But he's having a hard time finding them. And chopped jalapeno peppers.
Yeah, chopped jalapeno peppers. Yeah. And that's just like going to say, if you could predict the future, then you would know what was going to be a shortage of. But nobody can ever be prepared for everything.
So I was curious about the little tiny sunflowers because they're really, really short. And I'm like, I don't know if anybody's going to buy these or what can I do with them. They're beautiful in the field. And that was another thing. I'll just leave them out there. And that's what I said when we picked the first batch. And then I was like, you know what? A light bulb went off. I went over here, picked up a little mason jar, and I picked me 5 of them and put a rubber band around them and stuck them in that mason jar. I said, these are really cute. And I said, I'm going to pick what I got and take them because I'm just experimenting.
Yeah, that's
right. I don't know what's going to sell, what's not going to sell. And Jason thought it was a great idea as well. He thought they were really, really cute. So we had some little beady ones, and it's $2 a stem, so it's $10 for 5 sunflowers, and it'd been $5 for the little bitty sunflowers. So it's interesting to see. When I went back today, we took 55. We took 11 bundles, and it was either 4 or 5 left. So we had sold either 6 or 7 bundles. I think there's going to be 0. I think they're all going to be gone by the weekend because Mother's Day's coming up, and I think they're going to be gone. I really do.
I think you're right. I think that they're going to be a good, solution to grab and go. And
yeah, and they got them right there on the counter by the cash register. So I think they're going to be gone.
And I told you that I thought that even reaching out to some of the peach places that we have here local that are just a huge tourist attraction.
I think so.
For beach goers in the summertime. I mean, if you're headed south to the beach, then you know about the Peach Park and you know about Durbin's.
Yes.
In Clanton in Chilton County.
Mm-hmm.
And they have plants, they have peaches, they have ice cream, they have food, they have
cute little place.
And I told Jason that I thought that we would do well selling them by the stem there, because what little girl doesn't say when she gets up to the register to check out, and I don't mean this in a deceitful way.
Yeah.
Mom, I want a sunflower.
Yeah.
And a couple of dollars here and made that little girl smile.
Yeah, that's right. So,
and I don't mean just for little girls, but for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, you might bring me one out to the car.
I'll bring you one out to the car.
I think we said it before. We're not in it to get rich. We don't think that's going to happen.
Listen, y'all, I cannot. Me and Marycarl picking sunflowers and her having the greatest time, and then her going in the greenhouse with me and tying them up, and she's got a method to what she's doing, because she wants one white one in there. She wants one. I mean, she is studying it, and so me and her having that time together, and then going to petals.
Yeah.
And then me and her always walk around petals.
And then giving Mama a break.
Giving you a break, but the daddy-daughter time is priceless.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So, if you were to go back, well, they're closed on Monday. If you were to go back on Tuesday and there'd be 11 bundles still sitting there, I don't think you'd hang your head.
I wouldn't hang my head.
I don't think you'd hang your head. I think you would just say, oh, well, better luck next time.
That's right. And we'll keep going.
Keep going, because they're so pretty, and you would probably enjoy growing them even if you weren't cutting the stems and doing anything with them.
I would thoroughly enjoy growing them. I really would. I'm having so much fun. I'm biting at the bit now because I got Hoss is sending me some more sunflowers here, and I still got seeds here. I got a lot of cosmos here. I got sunflowers here. I mean, I got seeds here, and so I'm trying to figure out, because Hoss has got a peach pro-cut sunflower that they didn't have when I made my initial order.
That sounds beautiful. And so we're in peach country.
Oh gosh, it is gorgeous. I'm so excited.
We could hollow out a peach.
We put the peach in
and put the peach sunflower down in it.
So I'm excited about that. So anyway, and I got enough space. I mean, we can plan as much as we want.
Yeah, I don't think you're looking at it as a job.
It's not. I mean, we're having so much fun.
And that's the benefit to it. If you were looking at it like, if I don't sell all these, then I'm not going to break even. And,
right.
That's not what it's about.
It is something I enjoy doing. Marycarl loves it as well. And it's just that. And if we can make a little bit of profit off of it, then so be it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And plus, it helps to get your name out there. Those that go to, say you walk in Petals from the Past and you've never heard of Cog Hill Farm.
That's right.
And you see the display of sunflowers right there. That might give you a reason to figure out who these folks are.
And you had a great idea, was to make a sign or put some cards out and advertise our YouTube channel and our Facebook page.
That's right. So, because, there's so many people that enjoy watching fools like us, and they may not know we exist.
That's right. I 100% agree. So I'm gonna work on that too.
Gosh, we got our list going again. I don't know if this is good or not. YouTube cards. Okie dokie.
And a sign. I like to get a sign. Some kind of. Jacqueline, you watching the podcast?
And I need Jacqueline to design a license plate T-shirt. I keep forgetting to tell her that. So
she'll watch it. See, Jacqueline is Jacqueline Head at Head Family Farm, who does my website and emails, and she also helps me with a lot of designing because they're just good at that stuff.
They're good at it, and I think they enjoy
that stuff, and they do enjoy it. And I know they got so much going on because we pretty much twisted their arm and got them to do a YouTube channel. And their YouTube channel is doing really great.
It is.
And so, yeah.
Oh, speaking of Jacqueline, they are getting goats. And so they want Nubians.
Well,
guess what? We have 2 Nubian females.
That we feel pretty confident that are pregnant.
Well, I haven't told you this.
Uh-oh.
And then we have Crazy Joe, who's the Nubian buck.
Right.
And so back in December 16th to be exact, we put all of our girl goats with our boy goats and created, hopefully, mini Nigerian dwarfs from Topper and Bootsy and Bo Peep.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nubians from Joe, Fifi, and Capri.
Right.
So I go out and I sit on the picnic table.
Was this today or yesterday?
Today.
Uh-huh.
And Capri jumps up there with me. Capri is the black and white Nubian.
That's my favorite one.
I don't
They're
have
all my
a favorite.
favorite.
I like Fifi's little tags right here, which I think is very unique to her.
But Capri is the one I wanted, and y'all wanted Fifi.
So we just got both of them. So Jacqueline is getting 2 bucklings from Sneed Farmhouse up in North Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't have a female. And so she's like, well, I guess I'm just going to have 2 bucks if y'all's females aren't bred.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there with Capri today, and she will let me pet her all the time.
Right.
But today, she let me put my hand on her side.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
You could feel the baby?
I could feel the baby.
So we're close.
And we are confirmed that Capri is pregnant.
Wow.
Y'all, she enjoyed me feeling her. And I couldn't believe it because usually she's not skittish at all.
Right.
But if you touch her in a place she's not used to getting
right.
touched, she's like, what are you doing? But I had my hand, I started to take a picture of my hand. I should have videoed it.
Yeah.
Because like when I was pregnant with Marycarl.
Oh, gosh.
I could put my hand on my belly and her foot would
I remember the first time I saw it. I was like, oh my gracious, how exciting and cool.
It was
and
rolling.
Freaky. It all at one time.
And you could see her foot when it pushed out on one side.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling Capri and I'm feeling that baby and I'm just like, oh, I gotta tell Jacqueline about this. So here you are, Jacqueline. I'm probably gonna forget to tell you. So just know. And I'm trying to convince it to be a female. I can't do much about that. So.
No. And we don't know. Usually the first fresheners and we know.
Yeah, usually they have one.
They usually have one.
But she's pretty large.
She's big.
She's big, and Fifi's pretty big too.
She is a big girl.
So I'm starting to see Capri's bag starting to fill up.
Yeah, Capri's bag is starting. I noticed hers before anybody else's because Nubians are big dairy goats anyways, and I could tell that she looked like she was getting pregnant. But I think Bootsy is putting on some others,
I think
too.
so too. But the only one I'm in question about is Bo Peep.
Yeah, I've been in question about Bo Peep as well because I've seen Topper, who is a weathered, which is a
Tip,
which is a weathered, which is a fixed male goat.
Mm-hmm.
But he still, if a goat goes in heat, he acts like
like he's not fixed.
He acts like he's not fixed, but he is.
And he makes this crazy
crazy noise.
It sounds just like that. And then she kind of goes, eh.
Yeah.
With it's almost like she's in heat when you hear that. And she's been doing that, and he's been doing his crazy mess. So I'm kind of thinking she might not be bred.
I'm thinking the same thing.
But you know what?
What's that?
The best thing that could happen out of it is if Bo Peep is not bred.
Yeah.
Nigerians they cycle monthly.
Yes.
So we could put her back with Topper and breed her, and in 5 months we would have a baby.
That's right.
Whereas Nubians are seasonal.
Yeah, they're seasonal.
So you got an opportunity October, November, December, January, just say 4 months.
Yep.
Of a window to get them bred, and it's only 1 week.
Yes.
Out of those months.
That's
so
right.
If we missed our Nubian opportunity, we'd have to wait till fall. If we missed our Nigerian opportunity, we can wait until June.
Yeah.
We'll know.
We'll know
if there's going to be babies or not. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited about the Nubians more so than anything.
I love Nubians. I absolutely love them. I've always have because of Earl, and I just love that breed. They're so sweet.
Well,
cute, and I love the way they look. I love the big floppy ears.
Our wonderful friends at Simply Making It. Well, it's actually Laura that's in charge of Simply Making It,
right.
and her husband are in charge of Spencer Farm. And Laura, who is one of our greatest inspirations to starting Cog Hill Farm, she has milk goats in which she makes her soap and products, different products, lotions, and all kind of different products with. Well, I asked her one time, because Fifi and Capri both came from Laura, I asked her why she chose Nubians. And she said, because Nigerian is so hard to milk. And I said, are they? And she said, yeah. She said, that Terry, who was where Topper came from and Bo Peep came from.
Who were the Nigerians.
Who was a Nigerian dwarf goat guru. Traveled around the country showing goats.
She was the leading Nigerian dwarf goat breeder in the southeast, if not in the country. She sold these goats for thousands of dollars.
She would put them on an airplane and ship them.
Delta.
Yeah. So when she told me that
and she was our friend.
Yeah, she was our friend. She lived in the same place that we did. and Laura too, basically. Yes. She said, because Nigerians are so hard to milk. Well, Terry always used a milking machine.
She did.
When she was milking them, and it never occurred to me why she did it. I just always thought it was because she had so many. And so Laura said no. She said, I can't milk a Nigerian. And you look at Laura's hands, and it's like the size of a baby's hands. Laura's a very tiny lady, and so her hands are like this big.
Yeah.
And if Laura can't milk a Nigerian easily, then I know I can't milk a Nigerian easily.
Yes.
And she said the Nubians' teats are so easy to get a hold of. And I vouch for that firsthand because I did get to experience a week of milking hers when she went on vacation one time. And I found that my muscles in my hands needed some working, to get used to it. But those teats on a Nubian are literally like the length of your pinky.
They're very small.
No, Nubian. The Nubian are long.
Oh, yeah. The Nubians aren't, but the Nigerians are small.
The Nigerians are just like the tip of your pinky.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice to do it. And I know Wiedemann Reap, now they may have machines now because she's got a lot of goats now, but used to, her and the children would do it every day or twice a day.
Yeah.
But they had gotten really, really good and fast at it. But it's way easier with that Nubian. Way easier.
Oh, yeah, it's way easier.
Way easier.
And when Laura said that, I thought to myself, well, let's get some Nubians and give it a shot.
Yeah.
And that's when we got Fifi and Capri. I'd also eventually like to add Lamachas.
Yeah, I like Lamachas too.
Lamachas are the no-eared goats. They're very strange looking.
And I found that either people like them or think, oh my gosh, that thing's the ugliest thing in the world.
Yeah, you either love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
And to me, it's not about the looks. It's about the milk, the differences in the milk, fat.
And they're super sweet.
They're super sweet.
They're allegedly friendlier than a Nubian.
I don't know if that's possible, but I do have a contact for Lamachas.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't be surprised if I come home with one.
And Cattywampus does Lamachas.
Well, yeah. And so does Norris Hollow that we got Melinda.
Oh,
our little Sarama hen from.
You.
She lives basically a rock's throw from here.
That's right.
And Melinda has awesome goats. And I would, one day when we expand our pastures further back.
Yeah, and that's coming hopefully in the near future. We're going to make our pastures bigger and start moving stuff that way.
And of course, we would want a buck that was unrelated to the does.
Right.
So it may be that Cattywampus could help us out with the buck or the does,
right.
And then, vice versa. But I don't know. I love goats. I think they're awesome. And if you don't smile when you're around goats, you got something wrong with you.
Especially baby goats. Oh, my gracious.
But I will say that I had a friend that reached out to me here recently. She had a little, he was born a buckling.
Yes.
And he had been weathered, which meant fixed to where he couldn't have babies.
Mm-hmm.
And most people do that, especially if they want them for pets and you don't anticipate having any babies.
Especially because those boy goats, they can get stinky.
And if you're rubbing all over them, you don't want to, have that sin on you all the time. So
and they do this thing where they TT on their face.
Yeah, and they make that beard all
trying to
yucky
swoon the ladies.
It doesn't work.
But if you get them weathered, they don't do all that.
You get them weathered, and they either do that two ways. They can do it surgically, which they don't have to be put to sleep, but using a scalpel, or using a band mechanism, which will just cut off the blood supply to their male parts, and they lose their blood supply, and so they don't work anymore. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have it to where one of them is still up inside, and they don't lose their buckism the way they should.
That's
but anyway, so she reached out to me, and she said, help, I have a goat that can't pee.
Yeah.
And I immediately knew what it was.
Immediately knew what it was. If you don't know, boy goats are prone to basically a kidney stone. And there's a technical form.
Urinary calcification.
It is. It's basically a kidney stone. And what makes it bad on the boys is that their urinary tract,
their urethra,
is curved like a letter S. So that stone or calcium has to make it through all that, and it usually gets stuck. Versus a female who is straight. So females don't ever have the issue. It's always the boy goats. Now there's preventative measures that you can do to help to prevent that from happening. And the main thing is ammonium
chloride.
And you can buy food that has that in it, feed, which ours does.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also add it extra, and sometimes your minerals, your goat minerals will have it in there as well. Or you can actually buy it by itself and put it on your feed. But we buy the feed that's medicated, that has the ammonia chloride in it, and we put the goat minerals that has the ammonium chloride in it on their feed. So we top their feed with that as well. And we've never had any issues whatsoever.
Don't say it.
Since we've been doing that for several years. Now, we've lost a goat, our favorite goat ever, Earl. Y'all have heard us talk about Earl, the story of Earl. That's what happened to him because we didn't know.
We didn't know. And even if we had known the damage was done at that point,
yes,
we couldn't have saved him.
No, but we could have, we
could have taken more preventative measures.
But we didn't know. We did not know. And that's why we like to put that out there for people.
First-time goat owners.
To make sure that they know.
And we weren't even a first-time goat owners. And we had done our research. We thought that we were we were kind of those overprotective parents. We didn't have a child at the time. And, we thought we were doing everything to satisfaction to take care of our goats, to give them the best care. And that happened, and we felt like we were a failure. But we just didn't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, she says he can't pee. No, she said it can't pee.
Yes.
My immediate response was, is it a buck? And she said, well, it's a wether. He got fixed 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I said, oh, no.
And wethers are more prone to it.
I was just wondering why.
I guess it's a hormone thing. I don't know. But wethers are more prone to it than a buck. So if you have a wether, and you can kind of catch it. The signs are that he stands there and you can tell.
Dribble.
Yeah, and he'll kick his side or he'll kind of bite at his side, kind of like he's got bloat. Like if he's trying to let you know I'm in pain in my abdomen area, and he's doing that or kicking his side or kind of biting at his side, and that's usually a telltale sign.
I remember I had a cyst removed, and I was at UAB hospital. Do you remember this?
I remember you having the cyst removed.
So I had a catheter in. And
I remember being pinched.
And I was like, y'all, I have to pee so bad. And they were like, pee.
Yeah.
Just pee.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't understand. I can't go. I can't. And I couldn't explain it. I just gotten out of surgery. I was kooky, but I knew I had to pee. And
I remember that.
I was hurting. My stomach was hurting really bad. And there was a kink in the catheter.
Yep.
And I bet that's what those goats feel like.
That's what it feels like. Absolutely. And then, of course, what happens is if you don't catch it in time, even if you do catch it, sometimes there's nothing you can do, is that
the bladder ruptures.
And then that's it.
That's
as bad as I hate to say it, there's
nothing you can do.
Not much you can do at that point.
So when she told me he had been weathered 2 weeks ago, I said, oh my gracious. I said, she said, I took him to the vet last Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, this was on a Sunday. And she said that they gave him Banamine, which is like a pain medication.
And some antibiotics.
And I said, what?
Yeah.
And she said, yes. I said, did you tell him he couldn't pee? And she said, yes. So I'm thinking this whole time, like, no, something's not right here. There's no way that a vet that sees livestock couldn't know that.
How common this is.
You Google urinary calcification and it comes up goats, bucks, wethers. And so, I'm like, oh my gracious. I said, okay, is he going at all? And she said, it's just a bit dribble. He's getting worse. I said, look, you need to get to Auburn ASAP.
Yes.
And so I look up the number for her and I give it to her and I said, you call them right now. She took the goat on immediately, and by the time she got there, his bladder had ruptured.
Yes.
But how could it not have been going on since Thursday and this was Sunday?
Mm-hmm,
but y'all, it's just.
And Auburn is the
Auburn
big
is Peach's lifesaver.
Yeah, that's the big college in Alabama that is the vet school.
That's the veterinary college.
And it has the vet hospital there, and they will take anything pretty much, especially livestock. That's kind of like their thing.
I wouldn't hesitate to, if I had an animal that I loved, obviously
right.
If you have animals, you love them, and you want it to save its life, that would be my first phone call.
And
because there's so many little vets that just, and not to knock little vets by all means, I don't mean that.
Well, not to knock them, and to their defense, and most vets, 99% of their clientele is dogs and cats.
That's right.
And it's probably 75-25 dogs, and then 25%, and I'm just guessing off the top of my head, and that's all they see.
Well, when we had Earl, we took him to our vet, and he immediately said, "Y'all need to get him." Tuskegee was the closest. Yeah, was the closest to us because he knew that he didn't have much time.
Yeah,
and so Tuskegee was a small ruminant veterinary hospital,
right,
and college, and it was closest to us. And he immediately said, "I can't help him. You need to get there ASAP."
Right.
And I feel like any vet that had any kind of inclination that it may be something else going on
would have said the same thing. I don't know. All I can figure is they just don't deal with many goats. That's all I can figure is that they just don't deal with many goats. And it's a simple fix if you catch it in time.
Well, so I told her, I said, I've watched it many a time on veterinary shows and such.
They clip the tip off.
They call it the pizzle.
The pizzle.
They clip the end of it, and it doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work, but that's the first procedure.
And she said she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
She said, "If I bring him to you, will you do it?" And I had never done it. I was like, "Just take him to Auburn. Just take him. You got a better chance if you just get the goat to Auburn."
And it was too late anyway.
It was too late. Yep. But if I had done it,
still have been too late.
I would have felt like I'm the one that did the wrong thing. But it has to be done soon, no matter what.
It has to be done soon. I don't know what the next procedure is if that doesn't fix it. Is next. I don't know.
Every time I've ever watched it on veterinary shows, it works. And maybe they just film the good parts. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know.
It works every time, and it's like instant relief, and they pee right away, and, I'm a goat again.
Yeah. Strange.
But, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it to my own animal. But to save its life, if I knew it would work, I would sure do it.
Yeah.
I think
we probably would do it. Probably do it.
Why didn't we have any podcasts last week?
We busy, y'all. We have been so busy. I hate to say it, and we've been so exhausted. We're recording this one. Today's Friday evening, so we can get it out on Saturday. And so I even told you that I don't know if we can do 2 podcasts a week anymore.
I was thrilled to hear you say that because I feel like every time we do a podcast, we're in the middle of running. We're running this way, running this way.
Or the last several, this is what I feel like it has been. We record the podcast on the day it goes out.
Yeah.
And that's the day I record and edit.
Yeah.
So I have to record and edit a podcast, then turn around and record and edit a video, and the last few nights it's been close to midnight when I get in.
Yeah, and that's just too much. And life's too short and too important to try to kill yourself to do something that you probably shouldn't be doing to begin with.
Right.
So what we thought about doing.
Yes.
And we kind of want people's feedback.
Yes.
I mean, it may not come into play, but it may. Is doing 1 live a week.
Doing 1 podcast.
1 podcast.
And 1 live.
And 1 live.
Yes.
And we've never done a live.
We've never done a live. It would be just informal. I don't know. We would just probably just talk to you guys, try to answer some questions live. I know it would be a lot of people on there, so I'm not for sure how all that works, to be quite honest with you guys. Of course, I talk to Daniel all the time. I talk to Lester all the time. They're both telling me, you got to do lives.
People like it. So.
Hoss, Greg at Hoss Tools, and him and Sheila are doing lives. They keep telling me, you got to do lives.
It's just the not knowing is I think is what's held us back to this point. It's just not knowing how it works. And
I know how it works.
If you don't jump in, then you're never gonna do it.
And what the live would do would be that would free me up from having to edit it.
Yes.
It would be a live video.
Plus, we could answer questions.
Then we can answer questions.
We could interact with you guys to where you felt like you were. I mean, you would be right there with us.
Right, and we would try to stream it live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. That way we could, we got two different audiences. We got the Facebook audience, we got the YouTube audience, and there's programs out there that I need to look into. I need to talk to Greg at Hoss. He has a program that he streams everything from, and then we could even expand it to Instagram or whatever. So
yeah, I think we talked about doing it last weekend, and honestly, I didn't know how it all worked, and it was kind of like, let's do it right now, and I was kind of like, we need to plan this out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I was kind of just leery about it. So when we do it, we're just going to jump in, and y'all be patient with us. I say when we do it, and here I was asking what y'all would feel about it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, I think we're going to try it. I don't think there would be anybody out there that would not like the live.
Because this is what I didn't get out of it. I didn't know you could still go back and watch a live later.
Yeah.
So it would be a podcast in itself.
It would be a podcast in itself. Yep.
Live plus
a
podcast.
That's right.
So we'd still be doing two, but
Yes.
it would cut out you having to edit.
Cut out me having to edit it, and then as time goes, once the house gets built and this, that, another, we could do it out there in the chicken yard, and talk to the chickens, and people can interact with the chickens and that kind of thing. But right now we can't do that because the internet is. I would set up where we could just have the internet all over the whole farm.
And then when you told me that we were going to be in the camper, I was like, I don't want to do a live in the camper. I think we ought to be doing it outside. So the wind's another issue with volume.
Today would be terrible.
Oh, if we had, and we don't want to plan it, we want to kind of do it impromptu.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do a live?
Yeah.
We could do 5 a week if we wanted to. I mean, just whenever.
That's right.
If y'all don't mind seeing us dirty, like we are right now, we're both dirty.
We are very dirty.
It's just life, and this is us, and you could be right there with us.
That's
and you
right.
know how I always want to say coming live at you from the Cog Hill 40? I can actually say that.
You can actually say it.
Who knows? I mean, you could even see Marycarl's pigeons fly by.
Who knows? Yep.
Or a nugget zoomy. Or a peaches snort.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, I think that we have covered everything we set out to cover. And we made notes about getting some YouTube cards and talking to Jacqueline about a license plate T-shirt and a sign for petals to advertise our flowers.
Yes.
Anything y'all can think of that we need to...
I do want to say one thing before we go, is that I want to thank you guys for the feedback. Oh my gracious. In the last video I mentioned that Walmart, we were buying those card tables because they were like $30. Mm-hmm. And if the price of wood is so crazy, and it was like, the $30, that's pretty reasonable. It would take
for
me
a
forever.
6-foot table.
6-foot table. I don't know how wide those things are.
4 foot.
And I was like, this is great. So they're working out great. So me and Marycarl went to Pedals. On our way back from Pedals, we're like, let's go check Walmart and grab one of those tables. Went in there. Thing was $55. And we had just bought one 2 months ago. Anyways, I mentioned in the video, if you guys knew of anything, and overwhelmingly, and I don't know why, your brain just sometimes just gets stuck,
I'm trying to think what somebody told me the other day, and I felt so relieved once I had figured out a solution.
Well, I don't remember. The solution to the table was pallets, and I don't know why I didn't think about a pallet.
You know what I read that was kind of interesting?
What's that?
You know those cattle panels?
Yeah.
They said take cement blocks and put the cattle panel on top because it's welded wire that's big around, and then you can put your seed trays on top of it.
You could do that too. I still like the pallets.
Well, I like the pallets too. I'm just thinking no work.
Yeah, the pallets wouldn't be any work. We would put the cement blocks, the pallets on top of the cement blocks, because we got plenty of cement blocks.
Well, they were talking about deconstructing them.
No, the ones I saw that people were sending me pictures. You ought to see my email.
Oh.
I mentioned that send me an email, and I've been getting emails left and right, and everybody is saying pallets, 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 pallets. And they were saying, take the concrete blocks and then set the pallet on top of the concrete block, which will be perfect.
Yeah, because we got concrete blocks out there, yang.
And then even somebody sent me one that was cute, is where they took the pallets and screwed them together and made like a table.
Oh, we need to use these concrete blocks, though.
Oh, yeah, we need to use the concrete blocks. I agree. I agree 100%. So I'm
there was something I was fixing.
We need to
say.
start looking for pallets. Can't remember. I mess you up.
Yeah, but It's aggravating when you can't several people sent emails with links to Amazon where they did have the 6-foot table delivered here for $35.
You told me that, but now I'm so gung-ho on these pallets.
I know.
Because pallets are so much bigger than that table.
Well,
the width-wise.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they're 4x4.
That table's not 4 foot wide. That table's about the width of this.
3x6?
It's probably 3x6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we got something else to do.
That's right.
We really needed something else to do.
Yeah.
So now we got it.
We got it.
Just wait till I got to cook dinner too.
You don't have to cook dinner tonight. You don't have to cook dinner tonight because me and Marycarl, and we asked you, did you want something? And you said you didn't. But on our way back from Pedals, I said, Marycarl, would you like Main Street Cafe? And she said, I would.
And so y'all asked me if I would like for you to bring me something, and I looked at the menu, and I looked at myself, and I said, no, I'm watching what I eat. So,
and that's been our thing is that if we eat a big lunch.
Yeah, if you eat a big lunch.
We just can just piddle at dinner.
I'm gonna cook when we get our house built. So I'm just gonna have to stop at like an ample time so I have an energy enough built up to do my cooking, because I want to incorporate that into the videos.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to get that going.
If it adds,
and the recipe section going again on our website.
Well, because I think there's so many people that struggle to find something different to cook for their family, and I literally cook 5 out of 7 days.
That's right.
I mean, we have leftovers those couple of days, but
that's right.
If I'm already cooking, why not let somebody else, realize that
you can be the guinea pig and test things out and say, hey, we like this one,
or we don't like this one, or this one was too hard.
We won't show them those. We just show them the good ones.
No, we show everything. Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Speaking, I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to get in trouble by Jacqueline. She told me to let people know that Gmail and Google have changed things up. So if you have signed up for our newsletter from our website, and you don't think you're getting our emails, and you're on Gmail or Google, go to she said there's a section that says social and promotional, and that our emails may be going there.
Oh.
So you have your inbox, you have your social and promotional box, you have your spam box, and you have your deleted whatever. So if you signed up and you're not getting our emails, check your spam folder and check this social and promotional folder as well. And she said there's no way around it, that this is something Google's doing and Gmail's doing, and that's where a lot of our emails are going, is to this social and promotional inbox that they have on them. So she wanted me to tell you that, and I'm glad I thought of that.
Well, see, if I had signed up for the email and I wasn't getting it, I would have just felt like I'd done something wrong.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are thinking that. But every time somebody sends me an email and says, "Hey, I'm not getting your emails," I'm automatically forwarding them to Jack and
Jack and Diane.
Jacqueline and Zach. Jack and Zach.
Zach and Jack.
Zach and Jack.
Zach and Jack.
And
Zach and Jack, and we're rocking.
and they are on it. They start investigating it, and so yeah.
I got to talk about something else.
What's that?
We were going to end it like 15 minutes ago. But
right.
I just thought about an email that we got today.
That
was very important. We're getting our storm shelter on May the 16th.
Our storm shelter's coming.
May the 16th, around lunch.
That's when the goat babies are going to be born.
May the 16th. It's a good thing we learned how to multitask. Because I'm going to be over there pulling goats. Hopefully I don't have to pull any of them. But I'm going to be pulling goats, and you're going to be videoing the storm shelter.
Well, somebody's going to be videoing the goats. You and Marycarl can video the goats, and
I can't video and pull goats at the same time.
I just have to let Marycarl. I just have to put the camera up and hit record.
It's time for hired help at the Cog Hill 40.
Somebody, a cameraman.
Somebody sent a message one day and said, "How many people work for you?"
How many people work for us?
and I kind of looked at it, and I'm thinking, Brant, dude.
I'm thinking that's what they're. I'm
we got
assuming.
Fernando. We got this, and I'm like, they ain't talking about that. I think they think we got hired help.
There's no employees at Cog Hill except me, you, and Marycarl.
Did you see that pouty face?
But we do have the contractors here.
We do.
The contractors and subs. But, I mean, they don't work for Cog. They're not employees of Cog Hill Farm.
I'm telling you, I could never. I don't think I could ever say, I need you to go fill up that water.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't think so.
I mean, if the flower farm gets going, I definitely could use some help.
I mean, I don't mean we couldn't use help.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could ever.
And I will
stop
say this.
doing it what I'm doing.
And I understand that. And I will say this too. If we ever have any help here on Cog Hill, you guys will know it because they will be part of the vlog.
Oh, well, they will be very important.
If they wouldn't want their face shown,
we would respect that.
We would respect that.
But we still would refer to them as...
None of y'all have ever seen Mr. Greg.
No. And you ain't seen Brant.
And y'all know, well, Brant, you can kind of see him on the
Well, yeah,
videos,
but I mean,
you haven't talked to him or met him.
Yeah.
Mr. Greg, you ain't seen. He's been in but you know he's here.
Right.
So, yeah, if we had employees here, you would know they were here.
Oh, we wouldn't be hiding
We would
work
not be hiding
that was
them.
being helped.
We would be high-fiving them and cutting up and having fun.
It'd be like Lester and his help.
Yeah. Shirtless Jake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our help would have their own YouTube channel.
Probably so. Oh, gosh.
Y'all don't get no ideas.
Oh, my gracious. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this late episode of the Cogcast podcast. Y'all be looking out for this live thing. We got to get it figured out. So
we got to get it figured out. Can you possibly get Jacqueline to send out a notification ahead of time?
We'll do that. We will get Jacqueline and Jack and Zach to send us out send y'all out a notification.
I wonder if anybody's ever...
I don't know.
Okay,
but
so
that's what I'm going to start calling you guys. So
Jack and Zach...
It's going to be stuck.
We got to come up with a little jingle for their intro to their videos.
I'll think about it.
It's Jack and Zach and Eleanor.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
You know, it's got to be, it's got to ring.
They need a shirt, Jack and Zach.
Jack and Zach. And I helped. Shake and bake, and I helped. Isn't that what that commercial used to be?
Oh, I think so.
Bye.
Y'all be good.
Well, it's another one in the books for the Cog Hill 40. Join us again next week for our next edition of the Cog Hill podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.